Men don't voice their feelings because half the time they end up upsetting their woman when they do. And then they have to console her about how his feelings made her feel.
Good men exist. The only reason why a whole bunch of women are not finding them is because good men do not go to clubs. They do not go to bars. They do not go where there is going to be chaos. Good men stay at home where they know they have some peace and quiet. Because good men value their peace. Good men also keep their circle of friends small because they can tell the difference between a good person and a bad person. If they associate with a bad person, then they're not a good person now, are they? Good men value the friendships that they have, and they value what they believe in. So good men are not going to be surrounding themselves with bad people because that would ruin their peace. They would prefer to be with a small group of friends who have the same values as them, who value peace. A lot of good men also stay at home with their wives and children because they value families. A lot of good men also go to church because they know that that's where their values lie. Because they know that church is what makes them a good man. So if you want to know where all the good men are, they're sticking to themselves because they value their peace and quiet.
Here's what the scripture says. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. Didn't say he that finds a girl that he's attracted to, who he then begins to date, who he then calls his girlfriend, who he then buys a ring, proposes, and makes her his fiance, who he then marries later, who becomes his wife. You're not a wife when I marry you, you're a wife when I find you. You become my wife when I marry you. But a wife is not the presence of a ring, it's the presence of your character. Too many women want to be married, but you're walking in the spirit of girlfriend. Ask the Lord to deliver you from that spirit and carry yourself like you're already taken. And I promise you, when you carry yourself like a wife, a husband will find you. But if you keep walking like a girlfriend, boys will play with you.
If I could teach women anything about men, this is what I teach you all. You cannot have a single man as a friend. Boy, if you cross that line of screwing them, woo, consider yourself in a relationship with them, at least a situationship. I have learned so much being a lesbian and always being the emotional support for girls after they're in these situationships with men. I've always been their comfort, their support, because I would tell them, you're gonna get hurt. This is not what you think it is. They're not your friend. They got some schemy story, schemy shit going on with you. The recent one, and I'm sure if she still spies on my social media, probably hates that I use her example as the main story. This woman was naive enough to think that she could sleep with this dude off and on once in a while, and that he's just her friend. She went off social media for a couple years, just now maybe, if she knows or not, to find out that all these years he's posted stuff on his social media pretending they're a couple. My girls for her dogs and her. My family with his daughter and her dogs. He's totally made it look like he's in a relationship with her, going behind her back and doing things, making it totally look like they're a couple, when she's made it a point to tell him, we're just friends. Not to mention going behind her back and contacting her ex, rubbing it in his face that they're a couple as well. Listen, if you want a close friend, it has to be a girl, because guys always end up falling for you or have bad intentions.
So many men make this mistake, and it explains why women will pass on second and third dates with you, so I want to call it out. If you're going all out with a woman, for example, you're buying fancy tickets to a sporting event for your first date. You're canceling plans with friends to accommodate her schedule. You're checking your phone every 5 minutes for her text. And you're not in a deeply committed relationship with her. It turns her off fast because it signals that you're not on her level. To be clear, this doesn't mean that you need to play coy and try and hide your interest in a woman. But it does mean if you're too excited about a woman you barely know, you need to find ways to keep your feet on the ground.
Please watch
Why do
this.
so many women live in straight delusion land? Like, people really are out here believing that they're just gonna be taken the way that they are with all their craziness and think that there's nothing wrong with them. And
Sammy won't TikTok.
There's some people, there's some guys who do thrive off of the chaos because
those guys are idiots.
They're stuck in that like mental instability, but that's not what we're talking about. The women who really think it's cute to be toxic, ooh, you know what? In a couple of years, I don't even need to tell you what's going to happen, because in a couple of years, you're going to find out for yourself that you probably should have taken your younger years a little bit more seriously, focused on your self-development and not focusing on the suffering of other people.
It's going to get lonely.
I mean, I don't get it. It could never be me, though.
Use her body to go viral, and then you slut-shamed her while you were doing it. Good job.
And you just did the same thing, hoping it'll make you go viral. You didn't need to show her part of the video. You could have just referenced it. You could have done like me and not show it. That high ground is real shaky when you're a hypocrite.
Women cheat the best.
You on Instagram, really? Seriously, stop lying. Who you texting?
I'm on Instagram. What the fuck?
Yo, stop fucking lying to me. Who you texting?
I'm on Instagram.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So Instagram has eggplants, right? Turn around, look. Turn around, look.
Look away.
Look, turn around, look. Yeah.
A man will lose interest when he sees that he is trying way harder than you. It literally doesn't matter how pretty you are, how happy you are, how successful and confident you are. You will lose him simply because you are not giving him any effort back.